You know him, you love him, and we were thrilled that he made time. This wasn't even on the schedule, but he's so good to us. Dr. Sebastian Gorka, good to see you in person again, my friend. How you doing?
Living the dream, my friend, living the dream. It's been far too long.
It has been too long, and I know you are literally in the process of doing some of the most important work you can do, and that is spend time with victims of families that have suffered mightily at the hands of the previous administration. I don't know if you care to talk a little about that today.
Well, look, I'll just mention that tomorrow will be the fourth anniversary of the horrific Abbey Gate attack, which occurred when Joe Biden decided to surrender Afghanistan and Kabul, and 13 of our brave warfighters were blown up by an ISIS terrorist in a needless act that would never have happened if President Trump had been the commander-in-chief. One of the most embarrassing for the nation and horrific for those 13 families events in recent American history. So we will be welcoming some of the families here in the White House, and that's because we care, and we don't do this for, photographs with grieving families. It's an example. For last year, the president went to the National Arlington Cemetery. Why? Because Joe Biden and Kamala Harris refused to, and because the families wanted somebody there who cared, and that's my boss, President Trump.
The state of terrorism, I asked you this the last time we were visiting. You said there were things you know and that you read and that you see that would keep us up at night if we knew them. Where do things stand now, a few months later, since we talked about that?
Things are looking incredibly good. I can reveal that since the president raised his right hand for a second time and took the oath of office to be the commander-in-chief again, we have killed more than 270 jihadis across the planet, those with American blood on their hands and those who are plotting to kill innocent Americans. That's in addition to those who we neutralized during the Houthi campaign. On top of that, because it also belongs to our portfolio at the NSC, thanks to the incredible work of the special envoys Adam Bowler, Steve Witkoff, Rick Grenell, our colleagues at the FBI as well, President Trump has liberated 72 Americans from being hostages or being kept in captivity by rogue nations. So we are getting it done, my friend.
You know as well as I do, and I know you watch this stuff, the insidious, ugly growth in some, I don't think it's even most, but in some wings of, if you want to call it, conservative media that seem to be becoming increasingly more anti-Israel. And the reason I ask you about this is because of what you just said. And I've been hammering this on the show. If you don't talk about radical Islam, if you don't understand what jihadis are, you're not a serious person in my view. And I think to focus even a little bit on Israel, when you're not talking about Hamas, when you're not talking about Islamism, and how destructive that is and can be, it's incongruous to me, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't understand the focus by some on Israel. Do you get it?
I do, because it's just a new gussied up version of Jew hatred. It's just anti-Semitism with a bow tie on. This is just neo-Buchananism repackaged in a dumber fashion, because Pat Buchanan actually has a few brain cells. Look, there's only one Jewish state in the world, it's Israel. If you're anti-Israel, you're actually an anti-Semite and a Jew hater. And it's not the tiny nation surrounded by hundreds of millions of Arabs that is the problem. It's what we have correctly returned to the nomenclature of the first Trump administration. It is the global jihadi movement, whether it's ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Hamas, or Hezbollah. That's the problem, not a tiny state that is simply trying to survive after the horrors of not only the Holocaust, but of course, October the 7th.
I'll close by asking you, 7 months in, this administration, it's achieved a great deal. And I know your bailiwick, obviously your wheelhouse is counter-terrorism, but as you look out over all of it, what do you think President Trump would say is his proudest achievement at this hour?
Wow. Look, I live in a SCIF, a classified information facility, 12 hours a day, and you have to leave your mobile phones outside. And when we come out of the skiff, we look at, we open them up and we say, oh my gosh, what did the president do in the last 30 minutes? Because if it's not a peace treaty with Armenia and Azerbaijan, it's deploying the National Guard to make the streets of DC safe again, or it's, the $4 trillion he brought back from the Middle East during the trip, or, on and on and on. Proudest moment, there's too many of them to list right now. I think, and because, it looks imminently possible, I think if you ask me a few weeks from now, he will definitely say bringing a ceasefire, a peace treaty to Ukraine. That will be his biggest.
This is my last question.
Yeah.
Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi. For people that feel impatient, they want justice. We saw John Bolton's home raided. What would you tell our audience that feels like they want justice served, but maybe it's not coming as quickly as they'd like to see it? What would you say about those people?
It's a kind of, I don't get this, and it kind of perturbs me, because my father was a victim of a communist show trial where they just lied about him, and at the age of 20, after being tortured, he was given a life sentence. That was my father in communist Hungary. That's not what we do. We don't do show trials. We don't say, arrest Brennan now and throw him into the Supermax. No, the whole point of our side is we believe in the Constitution. We believe in law and order, and the fact that we are equal before Lady Justice, who wears a blindfold. So all I would say is one thing. My friends Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino are very, very busy with good reason.
Be patient. Be patient. That's what that means. Always good to see you, my friend.
Thank you. God bless everyone.
God bless.
All the listeners at Salem. Thank you.
They miss you. We miss you, Dr. Sebastian Gorka.
We're having too much fun.